Hello, hello, kitty cats, and welcome back to the Season 2 premiere of Tails and Tassels, the show where you pounce into the lives of burlesque and nightlife performers, their craft, their cats, and the ways the two worlds intertwine. I'm your host, Gemma Smith. By day, I work in animal welfare, and by night, I host the Catbaret, New York City's cat-themed variety show. And I'm positively delighted to kick off Season 2 with a topic at the heart of so many creative lives: how to juggle a day job, or even, let's be real, day jobs, with your creative work, whether you're a performer, producer, or really any kind of creative. Honestly, this is something that I've been thinking about almost daily since wrapping Season 1. So I decided to do some research, selfishly for my own sanity, but also to share with you what I've learned. From how to protect your energy, to managing your time, to considering who you spend your time with, we'll explore ways to make your creative life more manageable. And of course, some of these tips involve your kitty cats too. These tips are truly a game changer for me. I think you'll take away something actionable from this episode. But before we get into it, I definitely want to catch you up on what's been going on, what have I been up to during this break, and also what you can expect in Season 2 of Tails and Tassels. And may I say, thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful for each and every one of you taking time to listen and sharing your own positive energy. A lot of cat puns on this podcast, and I'm just so happy to have you here. And this season, we've got some exciting things coming up, so I can let you know we're going to be interviewing more cat-loving creatives about their own tips and tricks for navigating their artistic journeys. We've got some exciting episodes lined up, including I'll be speaking with a producer of Show Me Your Kitties Cabaret. It's like the Catbaret on the West Coast. I actually got to meet the producer at CatCon, and I'm really excited. And we've got some more burlesque performers lined up, a rapper in the animal welfare world. We've got also some experts to help you with your marketing, SEO. How do you get yourself out there as a cat-loving creative, and more. I'm really looking forward to continuing episodes every other week this fall, with the goal that in the new year, I can join you every week. But this speaks to what we're going to get into today, is creating that balance, dare I say, or juggling of your creative projects with other responsibilities in your life. So, what have I been up to since Season 1 wrapped? Well, I've kept busy. I took a trip, I think I mentioned this before we wrapped, to the south of France for my 40th birthday. It was absolutely parfait. I loved Magnifique. It was beautiful. It was really what I needed. I'm so grateful I had that time. It's such a beautiful place. I went to a yoga retreat. I'll link them. The Frog's House in Saint-Genès. It's about 30 minutes inland from Nice in the mountains, and it was breathtaking and beautiful. And I also went to a cat cafe in Nice. That was so much fun. And goodness, I did research for this episode, but I didn't think to have the name of the cat cafe. So I will link that in the show notes. But it was in Nice, and it was in walking distance from my hotel. And I could tell a lot of locals went there, and the cats were really adorable. And they had very delicious food and lattes. So I highly recommend. Do you also go to cat cafes when you're in different cities? All of my cat friends, that's something that we do. So what else did I do this summer? I produced a brand new realities burlesque show celebrating reality TV romance. So we did a summer love show, very different from cats, but I love reality TV as well. That was a lot of work because it's a totally different niche, right? A totally different audience. But then I also moderated a panel at CatCon in Pasadena just a few weeks ago for my day job. I got to attend CatCon. Oh, and these earrings I want to shout out. Bunny D. She's an artist, and I just love her work. I've been following her on Instagram, and I bought these hand-painted, handmade cat earrings. If you're watching on YouTube or a clip, I'm showing them off, and they're really beautiful and sparkly little pink cats with this heart gemstone hanging under it. And so I highly recommend checking her out. There were so many meowsing cat-themed vendors, performances, panels, and I was really grateful to get to go and represent the ASPCA, my day job at CatCon. So that was awesome. But I will be honest, I have struggled and learned a lot about juggling projects alongside my day job, which is exactly why I wanted to start this season with today's topic. It feels so authentic to me because it's something I'm going through, and I'm right alongside with you, kitty cats, learning and researching and working every day to create harmony in my life. And there's not always harmony and there's not always balance, but I do think there are actionable things we can do to help ourselves feel our best every day. So by day, for the past 9 years, I've worked in an administrative and managerial role at a kitten nursery. And for about 4 or 5 years before that, I had several different day jobs, including working at a veterinary clinic, teaching theater to little kids, and I think I was an admin assistant at a toy company, and I did catering. So I know what it's like to have lots of different jobs. And while working at a kitten nursery sounds incredibly cute, and it really can be, working in animal welfare can be both rewarding and stressful. And although a majority of my creative life does revolve around cats, including this podcast, it's completely separate from my day job. My creative projects are my own to work on during my time off from my day job, and they have nothing to do with my day job. I make a very intentional effort to keep those things separate, as I'm sure you do. I'm sure you all have different jobs. If you are a full-time creative, meowsing, you inspire me. Thank you. Comment on this episode. Feel free to share your tips and tricks for managing a full-time role, pursuing your art, because my ultimate goal, I'll be vulnerable with you, is to work as a freelance creative and make an income from my projects. But let's be real, I'm not there yet. So I've been thinking a lot about what it would actually take to get there, to keep my creative work alive and thriving while I still show up for my day job 100%. I did some digging, asked around, and pulled together a few things I'm actively working on in my own life right now that I think could really help you too. All right, number 1, protect. Hey kitty cats, quick pause for a Catbaret update. Our Meowloween variety show claws its way back to Caveat in New York City on Friday, October 31st. Expect comedy, music, and burlesque, plus an audience costume contest. It's the most spooktacular night of the year. In-person and live stream tickets are on sale right meow at catbaretshow.com. Snag yours before they ghost you. Your energy. I want to start this episode with a tip from one of my favorite artists, Queen Herbie. If you're not familiar, Queen Herbie is a singer, songwriter, rapper, and all-around self-discovery guru. Stream her hypnotic catalog of vibration-raising songs and join the Herbie House Healing Community for inspiration on indulging your inner artist. So yes, I am part of the Herbie House Healing Community. I pay $5 a month on her Patreon. This is not sponsored. I'm just a big fan. She also has a podcast. I think I've mentioned it here on this Herbie House podcast, and it really resonates with me. So she talks a lot about, on her podcast, through her music, taking care of your energy and tuning into what fuels your soul. So that idea, staying intentional with your time and focus, is tip number 1 today. So sometimes your day job can be really stressful, right? And the people that you come across in your daily life, they bring their own reactions and emotions into the situation. Oftentimes, things that have nothing to do with you. But as creative, sensitive people, it's easy to absorb that energy. So I've learned that I have to work very intentionally to protect my own energy. And it doesn't always work. But when I remind myself before I go into a situation that could be stressful or difficult, when I take a moment to remind myself that my creative purpose is still waiting for me, even when I'm doing other work, that has been a game changer. And this is kind of nebulous, right? Okay, reminding yourself that you have creative work outside of this day job. And it can be really hard if you're in the middle, say you work in customer service or in retail or at a restaurant, or maybe even a high-powered career in a corporate office space. There are stressful moments. And so one way that I protect my energy that I think you could do, if you're a morning person or a night owl, is I start my day on my own terms. Now, for some folks, you might want to carve out time at the end of the day, in the evening. That's really your creative time or your time to set the tone for the next day. But for me, I'm a morning person, so I have to be super duper intentional not to wake up scrolling on my phone, right? So before I head to my day job, I give myself a morning ritual that is just for me. I wake up, I do not look at my phone. I have my water, I have my black coffee, and then I have 5 minutes of meditation with my cat Luna. So I do use the Headspace app, and I just do 5 minutes, and Luna comes to me and she lays on me on my chest and my shoulder as I'm sitting on the couch, and I have that meditation time with Luna. It didn't start that way. So I have 2 cats. I've talked about them on the show before. Luna's a little black cat, and I rescued her from Astoria, Queens when she was 4 months old. She's a bit shy, a bit under-socialized, and so it's so lovely when she comes and cuddles with me in the morning. Okay, so after 5 minutes of meditating or just being still and petting Luna, I like to journal, and I'll just put on some music that I like and journal for like 5 minutes. Stream of consciousness, a page or 2. For those familiar with Julia Cameron's The Artist Way morning pages, I had to do that in college, where you just write stream of consciousness, first thing you wake up, 3 pages front and back. So I don't go that far, right? Because I won't commit to that every single day. I know myself and I know what's doable. So for me, it's the 5-minute meditation, a page or 2 journaling, how much I want to journal, stream of conscious, and then some exercise, some intentional movement. And for me, that's doing the Peloton while I watch reality TV. So I'm pairing movement with something I genuinely enjoy, and it makes me look forward to my mornings instead of just dreading the hour-long subway commute. And in addition to meditating with Luna, I also carve out time to play with Lion-O. He has this new wand toy I got from CatCon, from this company Felis Lux. I'll link it in the show notes. He goes crazy for it. He's 12. He hasn't played this much with a toy in years, honestly. So it's really fantastic. It's got this snake-like attachment, and he goes crazy for it. So, of course, I carve out time for me. I carve out some time to connect with my cats. And then if I have an extra 30 minutes, I do a little admin work for Catbaret, for the podcast. Sometimes I'll do 30 minutes of editing in the morning before work, and it just helps me feel like I did something for me before I start my day. And then on commute time, for those of you who take the train versus drive, I like to do my social media. It seems not very intuitive, but for me, I am dedicated, focused to do one post for one of my accounts, and I could work on editing it on the train. And I kind of feel like I did something else for my project on the way to work. Now, like I said, for some of you, this may not be doable. I feel like I'm bragging about my morning routine. I don't mean to be super annoying about it. It's necessary for me. If I don't do this, I will feel really badly at work, and I will not be the best version of myself, or I will feel unwell. I will not feel focused. It feels necessary for me. This is something that I've always done, but now I'm cherishing it more, feeling more of a busyness in my day job. Now more than ever, I treasure this time. But for some of you, this may be an evening thing. Unfortunately for me, when I get home from work, I'm pretty tired. I don't get home sometimes till 8 o'clock, and I just am not my best creative self. Despite me producing a cat-themed cabaret and performing burlesque, I am not a night owl. I have to have my Celsius or some strong coffee if I'm going to be out late. So I am a morning person, and carving this time out for me helps protect my energy. So you don't have to do all those things, but I would really urge trying one of these things at a time that works for you every day to give back to yourself and protect your energy. And then during the workday, it's really recommended for folks to make sure you take your break, even if it's a short one. Get outside, get that vitamin D, feel the sunshine. It's simple, but it's a tool that can help you reset and remember that your creative energy is yours to protect. And just having a few minutes to step outside and remove yourself from where you are is a powerful tool to remind yourself that your life is more than your day job. And then lastly, when it comes to social media, we also need to protect our energy. Queen Herbie recommends refining your feed by muting accounts that give you negative energy, and take time to put your phone down and give yourself at least 1 hour a day of focus and productivity. And I know for myself, it's a struggle. I'll pick up my phone to look up one thing. Somebody texted me and I'm like looking something up to send them, and then 10 minutes later, I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see a video about some random actor, and then I have to Google what they're up to now, and I'm down a rabbit hole when I don't even know why I care. Or cute cat memes, they can brighten our day, right? But we have to find a way to do it intentionally. All right, so number 1 is protect your energy. And those are some tips I found useful. Number 2, work in seasons, not sprints. Balance doesn't always mean equal time every day. Instead, it's about recognizing that our energy and bandwidth come in seasons. Sometimes you're in a busier season. Sometimes you're in a slower one. And the trick is to plan your creative projects around that natural rhythm. And one principle I found that really resonated with me is the concept of seasonal productivity. That your energy and focus naturally ebb and flow, and that aligning your creative projects with those rhythms support both your mental health and sustained creative output. So this one hits close to home. My day job is busiest between April and November. So this year, I scheduled Catbaret shows during the quieter months. For example, the end of October, I had Me Halloween. February, Catbaret Galentine's Day. April, I did a spring show, and then work really started getting busier. So that worked until July, when I also produced Reality's Burlesque, my reality TV themed show. While merging reality TV dating show themes, burlesque, draglesque, and music was wildly fun, it was also a lot. I ended up completely burnt out. When I got back from France, all of a sudden I had less than 2 months to produce this show, and I really care. I really care. Sometimes I have a problem. I get stressed out about ticket sales, wanting to make sure we have a great audience for the performers, wanting to make sure I get as many collaborations, press mentions. I really go for it. And with Catbaret, I've really built an audience over the last 7 years, but with Realities, it's a newer show. And it was only my second show. I did a Vanderpump Rules show. This was Summer Love, about reality TV dating shows. And it was fantastic. May I say, the show was just so much fun. The performers were passionate reality TV fans, and their acts were fantastic. Smart, clever, sexy, cheeky, all the things. But at the time, I was worried I made a mistake in producing the show because my day job was incredibly busy and I was feeling really, really overwhelmed. So if there's one thing I learned, even when you plan around your creative seasons, it's okay to miscalculate. It's okay that I made a mistake. Give yourself grace. Learn from it. Maybe next year I will adjust. What matters is recognizing it, listening to your energy, and giving yourself grace. So this is something I'm going to continue to think about. Another example, I wanted to do this podcast every week for season 2. I listen to podcasts about growing your podcast, and I love saying podcast. And sometimes it really stresses me out. They're like, you got to do it at least once a week if you want to grow your podcast. You have to have an episode at least once a week. And I really care about the things that I do, and I want to do them to the best of my ability, and I want to grow my podcast. If I'm doing all this work and sharing creative cat lovers with you, I want as many folks who are creative cat lovers to hear the episodes and for our work to grow and our community to grow. But it's not sustainable right now for me to do that. I think I'll completely burn out. So I'm having to make that decision to say every other week is better than no podcast at all, right? That's what I can do, because right now, like, I have other responsibilities at the same time. And so I think it's okay for yourself to make those decisions on what season you're in and what you may have to do, what decisions you may have to make, and to give yourself grace if it's not perfect, if you miscalculate, and there's always a chance to look at it again and revise it and move forward. Number 3, set non-negotiables. Identify 1 to 2 things you will make time for no matter how busy life gets. Whether that's writing for 1 hour a week on your project, cuddling with your cats once a day. For me, I have a little to-do list for my projects, and each week I identify those non-negotiables and I write them in my planner. I also like to use Google Sheets as like a running to-do list with timeline. For Catbaret, it's like 8 weeks out from the show, 7 weeks out, 6 weeks out, and so on and so forth. And I find that really useful. And then I break it down into weeks. So set your non-negotiables for each week and stick to them. And number 4, build your support squad, aka your community, as we say at the Catbaret. So creative work can feel lonely sometimes, right? So I've learned how important it is to have a support system. You've got to have people who understand what you're trying to do and to cheer you on. For me, that includes my actor accountability group. We've got a text thread going, and we meet once a month to check in. We share wins, goals, and areas for brainstorm, and we really cheer each other on. And when one person levels up, one member of our group, let's give her a shout out, Maria Bartolotta. She was in season 1, okay? She has a solo show. She just performed it at St. Louis Fringe. Last time she was on, I'll link the episode in the show notes. She talked about booking the venue for her solo show before she even wrote it. And now she's performed it at LA Fringe, St. Louis Fringe, and she won Best Actor of the festival. So I congratulated her and said when she wins, it really feels like we all win in the group. When someone wins, we're all learning and growing and supporting each other and leveling up, and it's just good energy. So I find it really powerful for folks to find their creative cheerleaders. Genuine, positive folks that want to share resources and knowledge and cheer each other on. And there are people like that out there. I've also got my cat lady clouder. Shout out to Jenny Pearson and Amanda B. These are 2 creative cat ladies who are out there making things happen. Jenny is the founding executive director of the Cat Museum of New York City, and she's also a tour guide with Cats About Town walking tours. And then Amanda B is the producer and host of 6 Degrees of Cats podcast. So it's awesome to check in with them, chat with them, support each other, hear each other's goals, and we get it. We are all creative, child-free cat ladies, and it's really fun to connect with them. My husband is also my biggest listener and supporter, and of course, my own kitty cats are part of the squad too. They may not give feedback, but they're always there for moral support. And also, on the flip side, be mindful of people who might drain you. Pay attention to your energy after you spend time with people and be aware of how you're feeling. So, after you hang out with a friend or a collaborator, do you feel energized, seen, heard, excited about whatever you discussed? Or do you feel drained, maybe resentful, maybe even unseen, unheard? that might not be a person who should be in your squad. And I think we really got to trust our bodies and our intuition. And tip number 5, kitty cats, you've got to celebrate your wins before you rush to the next thing. As creatives, it's easy to finish a project and immediately start thinking about the next one. But taking a moment to pause and actually acknowledge what you accomplished helps keep your motivation and joy alive. That could mean sharing it with friends, journaling about what went well, or just letting yourself feel proud for a day before moving on. So those are my 5 go-to strategies for juggling a day job and a creative life. And trust me, I'm still learning to practice what I preach. I'd love to hear what works for you. DM me or email me with your own tips for juggling a creative life with a day job or day jobs, and I might share them in an upcoming episode. And that's a wrap for this episode of Tails and Tassels. So if you have any questions, comments, or just want to say meow, feel free to send us an email at tailsandtasselspod@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. Also, join our community on Instagram at Tails and Tassels Pod for more updates and behind-the-scenes fun. See you next time, kitty cats.